Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat. You're watching iGyan, and today we're going to be checking out Xiaomi's new robotic vacuum cleaner and mop. So let's quickly get started. Now, Xiaomi's been doing a bunch of crowdfunding in India, and the robot vacuum was something that was a part of crowdfunding. Technically, it was supposed to start shipping before the lockdown, but since the lockdown happened, everything got skewed up. But now they're finally shipping their robotic vacuum, and also it should go back in stock on their website soon. But as it stands now, presently it is completely out of stock everywhere, and they're also not taking any orders. So it's priced at 21,999, and it sort of competes with the big boys when it comes to robotic vacuum cleaners. So you've got Dyson, you've got iRobo. In India, you only have iRobo. Dyson hasn't launched their robotic vacuum cleaner in India, but you do have iRobo in India. Now, with respect to some of the features that this has, it's got a pretty good list of specs for it being a vacuum cleaner. And we'll talk about all of those as we go through this video. But if you look at the design, it's a very nice looking vacuum cleaner. It also has something that some of the other guys don't have, and this has LDS, so it has a laser-based navigation system that allows you to map out your rooms, also create virtual boundaries. So if you place the machine in your room, you can create a boundary around things that you don't want it to clean or don't want it to crash into. And that works surprisingly well, and we'll talk about all of that in a few seconds. Let's quickly get through some of the basic specifications. So it's a fairly large product, and it's about 350 mm in terms of diameter. So it's a fairly large vacuum cleaner, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It also weighs in at 3.6 kilograms, so it's not the lightest vacuum cleaner either, but that again is not a bad thing since you're not going to be lifting this too often. It has a 3200 milliamp hour battery. It has a running time of about 60 to about 120 minutes. So it can be anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours based on what you're using it for. Now this has two modes which I spoke about earlier. So this has, of course, a sweeping mode, but then you can swap out the sweeping system with a full wet mode. So this also has a tank in which you can add some water. You can also use it for mopping around the house. So this comes also with two types of mops. One is a semi-wet mop and one is a full wet mop. Again, we'll talk about all of those things as we proceed. Now, the biggest advantages of this vacuum cleaner is that it pairs up with the Mi Home app quite easily. And on the Mi Home app, you can customize the way this machine will work, what time it will start running, and what time it will clean your room, and what room it will clean first, and then what room it will clean next. As it cleans, it creates a map of your house on the app, and then you can see what rooms have been cleaned by the vacuum cleaner if you've been away, so that you know that, for example, your living room has been cleaned by the vacuum cleaner. Now, in theory, it's a really good process and it works really well. But I find that setting up the whole system is a little cumbersome. And despite the fact that it has a laser module and it maps out things very well, if you have things in the way, for example, chairs and tables and just stuff that you would have around your house, it becomes a little difficult, especially if you have block tables like we do in some of our office space. Then it becomes difficult for the machine to map out the room very well. I've also found that it struggles if you have a lot of stuff lying around. So if you have carpets and small tables here and there, especially tables that it can't go under, then you won't get a thorough clean. Because of the laser module, you do add a little bit of height to the otherwise very slim profile vacuum cleaner. And that means that if you have anything that is just slightly above the height of the entire vacuum cleaner, but not above the laser module, it won't clean under that. Now, as far as the vacuuming is concerned, this has a 2100 PA of suction power. And it also has a brushless motor, so it's not very noisy, and it's also fairly effective in clearing out dust from your rooms. Works at about 70 decibels. It's definitely not the most comfortable noise, but it doesn't bother you that much. If you're in the room while it starts cleaning, you will definitely know that it is doing its job. But ideally, because of the way you can set up the app, you can set it up when you are not in a particular room and then have it clean that room. Provided you don't have any doors that are shut or any sort of platforms between your rooms, this can easily travel from one part of your house to the other part. Like I said, it has to be on the same floor and without any stairs or any platforms between rooms. So it can easily travel if you have a flat floor house. It can easily travel between rooms. You could have it in your room but you decide to clean up the living room, you can just press a button and it'll go to the living room and clean that up for you. You can also set it to work. If you go to work, it can clean when you're at work so that you don't have to be disturbed by the vacuum cleaner. But you will have to empty out the bin ever so frequently. And if you want a mopping mode, then you will have to swap brush system for a mop system. And that will allow you to get a mopping mode. So for mopping, more or less, you'll have to be around. And then you'll also have to keep adding water as it mops the floor, because you'll need to constantly refill the water, because the tank, even though it's a fairly large tank, it's probably not big enough for most Indian homes. And while it'll do a basic job, it's not going to give you a thorough mopping experience. Now, here are some of the things that I really like about vacuum cleaner. It's fairly easy to use. And if you start to understand how it works, and once you have everything set up, you'll be using it in real time in a proper way around your house, and it'll help you with your cleaning capabilities. It's also good because it can sweep as well as mop in your house. The app is also extremely detailed, and it allows you to see how much battery life is left, what rooms have been cleaned. You can also color code different rooms and name them so that the vacuum cleaner knows the rooms and understands what room needs to be cleaned at what time. You can set up timers, schedules. You can also block out certain areas within a room that you don't want it to go to. So geofencing or laser-based fencing can be done within rooms, and then you can also map out your whole house so that you have a full picture of what is going on. So we're pausing the video to give you an update on the app situation. So the vacuum hasn't officially released, and the app is also running in beta mode, and the device constantly goes offline. And we did create a map of the studio space, but it just refuses to show it. So it just shows us a blank. It keeps resetting it. So we are unable to show you the mapping feature properly. And every time we try to set it up, it sort of resets, or it runs out of Wi-Fi or something or the other. Also, another point to note is that if you plan on using this in a large house, even if it's flat, but if you're using it in a large house, you'll need a Wi-Fi mesh or something, or a router that covers your entire house, because the range on the vacuum cleaner doesn't seem to be really great. And if you go a little bit just outside the comfort zone of the router and the vacuum cleaner, it disconnects from Wi-Fi, and that may be a problem in controlling it properly. It's fairly good if it finds open area. It's fairly good at cleaning that up, and it goes in a sort of sweeping motion, and it goes straight, takes a U-turn, comes back. So it's almost like a professional cleaning a place. If you've ever been to a hotel or a restaurant, you'll see most professional cleaners clean the floor like this. Vacuum cleaner also does it in the same way. Another good thing is that if in the middle of cleaning battery runs out, it'll go back to the base, charge, then return to the place where the cleaning stopped, and then start cleaning again. So that is something that I really like, that it knows where it sort of left cleaning, and then it can go back and resume cleaning. So for example, if you're cleaning at night in one of the rooms that you're not sleeping in, hopefully, the vacuum cleaner can go clean. If it runs out of battery, go charge, then go back and resume cleaning, and then go back to charge finally. Now, here are some of the things that I don't like. The laser sensor definitely adds a little bit of height, and this prevents it from going under certain things that other non-laser vacuum cleaners can go into. I also don't like the fact that to switch between mop and sweeping, you need to swap out a full tank and the full mop module. I know this is asking for too much, but in an ideal world, the concept of getting a mop-based vacuum cleaner is that you don't have to switch around things. But unfortunately, the technology doesn't exist now, so we get stuck with this. I also don't like the fact that it's kind of difficult to do the initial setup and to understand the complexity of using this vacuum cleaner. It's not as simple as just going and pressing a button. You really need to go through the app and set up your maps and things like that. So if you're somebody who likes doing those things, I guess that's a good thing. But for an everyday user, this might get a little overcomplicated, and it might not make the cleaning experience as good as you would expect from a robotic vacuum cleaner. For the price that it's available at, it's definitely a fantastic vacuum cleaner. And considering the current situation of things going on in the world as well as in India, this is something good to have around your house or your office to get a quick clean. I've had iRobo vacuum cleaners for a while, especially around the office, and they come in handy for basic cleaning for sure. And something like this is definitely A, cheaper, and B, convenient. And also the fact that it's connected to your smartphone makes life a little bit easier for usage. So definitely go check out the Mi Robotic Vacuum Cleaner and Mop if you guys are interested in something like this. We will let you know once it comes back in stock, but for now it seems to be sold out everywhere, and September 1st week is when it's supposed to be back in stock. And we can update you on our Twitter, or we'll update the link in the description below once it does become available. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyan. This has been Bharat. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.